Well, guys, we're here because you guys asked. We are going to try to stump some of the assumptions that many people around the world have about Canadians. So, were you about there, eh?
Totally.
Totally, eh?
Yeah, totally, eh?
Did you put your stuff in the boot?
No, we don't talk like that, by the way.
No, most of people don't. I would say some people do.
Let's talk to Newfoundlanders.
Newfoundlanders have a language all on their
Lord
own.
Thunder and Jesus bye.
And it's beautiful, don't get us wrong. So today we thought we'd answer some of your questions or your assumptions, I guess, on what you think Canadians are, or to stump some of them, hopefully. And while we're doing, we thought we'd share some snacks. So we're going to start off with pouring ourselves some, this is one of my favorites. It is, en français. Keep in mind, everything in Canada for food has French and English.
Oui, nous avons deux langages officiels.
Yay! Canada Dry in the cranberry ginger ale. And Canada Dry is a Canadian... That was a joke.
By the way, I speak French very
Un peu.
Un peu. Un petit peu.
Un petit peu. You want more?
By the way, also, these are from a company right here in Halifax that makes these right down on the waterfront.
Beautiful. And it was from Ramona. Do you want to grab that box for me?
Shout out to Ramona.
Yes. So Ramona gave this to us for a wedding gift, and it's absolutely gorgeous. You can bring it right up there. Unfortunately, this company has gone out of business because going out of business because, because the cruise ship industry is not running, and that's where they make most of their dollars. And also the fact that these are handmade, hand blown, and you can only have, because of COVID, so many people in a certain amount of space. And unfortunately, to blow glass, you need to be fairly close. So cheers. Cheers, eh?
Dude.
We'll get into the hard stuff in a bit.
Buddy.
All right, so let's just answer the first assumption that I have here.
Jason Hughes says, everyone in Canada has a near-death experience with a moose or elk.
Maybe.
No, definitely in Newfoundland. There are so many bloody moose in Newfoundland. It's insane. They're a hazard.
We love the Newfoundland folk. Don't get us wrong. I think that everyone has experienced what you're claiming, what you're stating. But I would say that everybody in Canada probably knows somebody who has had a near-death experience with a moose or an elk for sure, like a cousin or a friend.
I've almost hit quite a few deer. So.
Oh dear. So Sleepy Sagittarius, she asked two questions. We'll ask the first question, that our president is fit. Now,
first,
we don't have a president.
Yeah, we don't have a president. We have a prime minister. And we are a constitutional monarchy. And the Queen of England is technically our head of state.
So, before we answer the second part of the question, which do you want to try first? We got some goodies that we're going to have.
And whether or not he's fit, he's skinny, and he has nice hair.
So some of the goodies that we have here, one of them is an Eat More bar. It has 0 chocolate in it, but it's like really, really good. They say it is dark toffee peanut chew. So obviously not for people who are allergic to nuts or anything. So we're each gonna have a little piece. We have a lot of snacks, by the way.
Yeah, this was the chocolate bar of choice for my mom when I was growing up.
My mom too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, totally.
My mom's favorite. If my mom's watching, she'll know. Yeah. Ugh. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Eh?
Very good.
Oh, really good.
It's also really good because I wasn't allowed to have any snacks before this because we were eating all this.
You guys can't see. You will see eventually how much food is in front of us. And we wanted to get things like butter tarts and Nanaimo bars and poutine, but those are things you actually have to have fresh. And I'm like, no.
Poutine's good. If you ever have poutine, please note it's a really good idea to go for your physical or medical before you have it, because they're going to take blood samples and they're going to be, mother of God, what are you eating?
So she also, Sleepy Sagittarius _ also asked the other question statement that we don't have loose, lively gun laws like America. So we have major gun laws. In fact, it's quite strict. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. Keeping in mind our population versus the United States is a lot smaller, so that does play a part. But we still have people who die of gunshot wounds and accidental things, but it's just not nearly as much as in the U.S.
But yeah, per capita, we the amount of people that actually own firearms in Canada is huge. Like the amount
Hunters, a lot of hunters.
We have a lot of hunters, a lot of sports firearms enthusiasts.
And like a lot of people in the U.S. or even around the world too, a lot of those guns and pretty much just passed down from generation to generation too. It's kind of like a thing that your father passes down to the son or the... Hey honey, would you like a coffee?
Absolutely. I'd like my coffee crisp.
Nice. All right, so this is another candy that in Canada we love. A lot of us do. This is Coffee Crisp. It's gorgeous. A lot of my friends in the States, whenever I mail stuff out to you guys, I generally put some of this in here because you guys can't get it.
Oh, it's good stuff.
It's really, really good. Also a favorite for my mom. I think my mom really, I know Eat More was her favorite. What about your parents? How much do you like this one?
Oh yeah, totally. What Canadian doesn't like a coffee crisp?
It's half for you. Pick whatever half you like. There's a larger half.
Thank you.
He gave you the larger half. Oh, I didn't care.
That's it. Cheers.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's a reason why we had like a late breakfast. I'm not eating dinner till later. There's a lot of food here.
That's good stuff.
Melting with Holly says that we're all super friendly. I'd like to say so, Holly. We are pretty friendly.
Yeah, normally, yeah, pretty much. There's no place you can really go in Canada and not feel, included.
And we always want to help. We always want to help you. If you have a question about directions, sometimes I've heard, and I haven't done it myself, but sometimes I've heard people actually walk you to the place that you're asking. Like, they're just super nice. I just think that, I don't know, I know as Canadians, I would definitely say that I would agree that we're always known as saying thank you, please.
Totally.
Yeah, and also just smiling. Like, we'll say hi when we walk by people just walking by. Just say hi. Don't even know them, but just a courtesy thing. And at the end of the day, it's kind of nice.
Like talking to people in the elevators, that sort of thing. Ooh, sugar high. Got a little.
Sure. Like I said, the hard stuff's coming still, guys. Fin Puff Mama. Y'all apologize all the time. I will say I do all the time. I always say sorry for everything. And we say sorry, like what like in India, what they would wear. Americans, I know you guys say sorry because when I do my acting work, they try to encourage us to sound American, which is sorry. And it's so hard to say because we say sorry.
Sorry.
Hey, sorry.
Never noticed. I don't
right?
say sorry.
It was acting class that it really got pointed out to me. I was like, I didn't even notice that. But I would say I apologize even if I'm not the one who did the bumping. Like if someone bumped into me, I'm like, oh, sorry. And I'm not even the one who did it. So go figure.
So in the United States, I spent 4 years in the U.S. Working with the U.S. military, the U.S. Navy, with the Canadian Navy. And I noticed at Halloween, those little rocket things with basically the little sugar pills in them. The Americans call them Smarties. And I was like, what the hell? No, those are Smarties.
When you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last? Do you crunch them really quickly? Or I don't even know the rest of it.
Crunch them really slowly.
Something.
Not dissimilar from M&M's, the original M&M's.
But they are different.
Oh, yeah.
They're very different. I find M&M's have a totally different taste.
Totally, yeah.
I don't like red Smarties. Don't ask me why, but I find red dye. Yeah, the red dye I can really taste. But they're all different colors and all sorts of different things. And
more pastel.
When I was a kid, I used to group all of the blues together and eat them. Group the reds together and so on.
That's your OCD.
Why you love me. Okay, so 2 of you guys asked pretty much the same question. Char Sense, which is Char, and April Mart. You guys both pretty much asked the same question, that you all say A at the end of every sentence. Well, we're kind of playing a little bit on that.
Take off, eh?
Here's the thing. I do agree that Canadians say it a lot, but when you're talking to other Canadians, you don't really hear it. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
When I went to when I went to England the very first time when I was 17 years old, I didn't catch myself saying it. It was my host family. Oh, you did say it. You said it again. And I'm like, I did not even know I said it. So I think it's just inherent in us.
Yeah, it's ingrained. I think it's ingrained pretty much in everybody.
Yeah. But it's cool. We have a different letter in the alphabet. Oh, yeah.
E-H.
Oh, Z and Z.
Oh, yeah, we totally say Z. That's British.
But we say zebra. I never call a
Yes.
zebra a zebra.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Go
no.
figure.
Yeah, we definitely say Z, and it's harbor spelled with a U, color spelled with a U.
Very British.
Yeah.
No. Do you like chocolate with bubbles?
I like chocolate with chocolate.
How about Minty Arrow? It's an Arrow bar, and it's one of my favorites. And it comes in regular chocolate, but it's also in mint, and I love mint. Have you ever had a mint Arrow?
Yes, I have.
They're not your favorite.
No, mint's not.
There was something we were looking for we couldn't get. The Turk. That's something I don't like.
Big,
and that's something,
Big Turk?
Yeah.
Big Turk is awesome. It is chocolate covered Turkish Delight. It's really good. Yeah.
My mom would get Bridge Mix and, was a treat. Yeah, Minty Arrow. And I would avoid the biggest shaped treats, chocolate covered whatevers, because I knew that was the Turk. That was no, that's not for me. It's just so good. Sugar high.
By the way, we've been trying to take off the COVID weight now that the gym's back open. That this is not helping.
Have some water. Nectar of the Gods, right? Sandra0909 says, y'all love maple syrup. And I'm going to say a lot of us do. Who wouldn't?
Yeah. Apparently Canada cornered the market on maple syrup. There was even a thing a couple of years back where there was a big heist of maple syrup coming out of Quebec. The RCMP had to get involved, and yeah, it was like tractor trailers full of it were stolen, increasing the price of maple syrup worldwide. That's how much they stole. It's
Since we're talking about maple syrup, there are sugar shacks, which is literally what you hear. It's sugar.
So what they do is they tap the
tree,
the tree, and they drain or some of the sap out of it, and then they basically distill the sap down into maple syrup.
So good.
Oh yeah, then you take that and you pour the hot stuff on the snow, and then
with a popsicle stick.
Then you just roll it up, and then you just eat it just like that. That's good stuff. Yeah.
Yum. Such a simple thing. Even as a kid, when a fresh dump of snow, obviously it has to be fresh. Don't pick yellow snow.
Yeah, don't.
You go outside, get a bowl of snow, and you come inside and we would drizzle maple syrup on it. We didn't do the rolling thing, but it was so good. And so simple and cheap.
Yeah, there's a major difference between the, fake maple syrup, which
really
is
runny
corn syrup and some flavoring, and the real stuff from the sugar.
Syrup is awesome. I think my blood might be partially maple syrup. Maybe. Oh, one of my favorite snacks as a teenager, because I was so weird and I eat one little piece at a time just to make it last longer. There are these chips from Hostess called Hickory Sticks. And they are literally just a potato chip that look like a little wee, and I'll show you, wee French fry.
Totally had no idea these were just Canadian.
So these are what they look like, yeah.
Yeah.
They're little pieces of French fry, but they got a hickory flavor. Oh, that's nice to change up the sweet to the salty.
Yeah.
Really good. But I used to eat these one by one. Now I'm all like,
No.
Heather McManus, 16. She had two things she wanted to say. That we eat maple on everything. Not everything.
Not everything.
We aren't Elf from the movie Elf.
But we'll get to some stuff that definitely has maple in it.
But it gets used in a lot of culinary type meals, and I'm still eating chips. I put maple syrup on this. I could dip this in maple syrup.
You can do that. Yeah.
Oh, and Heather must be Canadian because she did also state that when she went to the U.S. that she was asked if we lived in igloos. Oh no!
Totally.
I think our igloo looks great.
Totally. Yeah. And now it's been a while, but I used to live in Winnipeg, and we went we went down to North Dakota. Now this is a 2-hour drive. Okay, and so there's not a lot of difference in the actual, anything. Flat open prairie, blowing snow. It's freaking January. And back in the 70s and early 80s, there was these plastic things you could put on the driver's and passenger side windows, and it would stop or at least help the windows from fogging or icing up because it's minus 45 outside, blowing minus 60.
It can get cold.
By the way, at that temperature, Fahrenheit
It's just
and
cold.
Celsius doesn't matter. It's just freaking cold.
Yeah. Replace the frickin' with another word and you can figure out what we're saying.
Yeah. So nobody knew what those were. So we'd mess with people and they'd be like, oh man, what are those? Like, oh, those stop or they absorb radar so that police can't radar you. So if you put these on there, you can speed as fast as you want. They can't get a signal off there. Look, Canadians.
Yeah, we like to mess a little bit with your minds. But we're really nice about it though. GC stated that we are kind, polite, and nice people. Generally, again, what we kind of said earlier, I think we are. I think we're generally pretty nice, kind, and polite. And most people most might actually go out of their way to help you in one way, shape, or form. But yeah, I think so. I was always told to say please and thank you.
Oh yeah. Manners are big.
Big. The golden rule. That's how I was taught. And most of my friends are the same way in that sense. So you missed a trip.
Oh, just can't forget that.
It's good though.
It's ridiculous.
I haven't had those in years.
Probably
so long.
30 years.
Yeah, really. So Felicia Callahan says, I've heard Canada has amazing health care. True? Yes, no.
Depends on your point of view.
It does.
Everyone thinks it's free. It's not free.
It's not free.
It comes with a hefty tax price. So you pay it through taxes. Like if you go down to the States and you buy a bottle of fill in the blank, some sort of booze, it'll cost probably about 25% less, even with the conversion rate into Canadian, than it would in Canada. People in Canada are paying well above 40% income taxes, and then you're definitely working 6.5 months a year just to pay the tax bill in Canada.
He likes the chips. We have so much other food. Oh, they left me some. Thanks. Thank you. So, because we all pay into it, the taxes and that. The other thing is to remember is that unlike the U.S., with your privatized health care, you you need some surgery and you could be on the list for 6 months because that's just how it is here, unless you want to pay out of pocket, which is over and above what you already pay for your medical, to get rushed, like to get a private, like kind of like the Americans, you would get an appointment really quick. That
being said, if you go into the hospital because you got into a car accident, you broke a leg or whatever, right? You're not going to ever see a bill. You go in there and you're like, yep, here's our cast, blah, 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 and you're out in 15, 17 hours or whatever ridiculous thing because it wasn't life-threatening or...
You basically sit in the waiting room for a really long
time. Now, see, that's one of the things that absolutely amazed me when I lived down in the States. We'd take my son or whoever, like my ex-wife, into the doctor's office, and the doctors,
your appointment is like 11 o'clock.
Your appointment is at 11:15. Okay. You showed up at 11 o'clock. You were in the office by 10 after 11. The doctor came in at 11:15. The 10-minute or 15-minute window, he was in there and he talked to you, and then he was gone. Full stop.
Not here, guys.
It blew my mind because in Canada, if you want to go to the doctor's office or dentist, it was in the morning, you took the morning off work to go for your dental appointment.
You literally need to take 4 hours off because I've said to Nelson, we were talking about some of these questions prior. I would make the very first possible appointment with my doctor in the morning at 8 o'clock, and I wouldn't even see him until close to 9. And there's supposed to be nobody ahead of me, so I don't, and that's the reason why I would do it on a weekday, so I could get back to work. Yeah. I should also preface by stating that Nelson's ex-wife is American, and his son is a dual Canadian-American citizen. That's why he knows a little bit he's sharing some examples about his experiences with the U.S. healthcare system. So, yeah. So,
but yeah, if you have insurance, State's amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. You don't? Well, you're going to go bankrupt.
Well, no, and talking to Ramona and that, it's not quite as bad as we Canadians might actually think it is down in the States. Yes and no, I think, for them as well, when the whole bankruptcy thing. But Ramona says they cannot say no if you come to a hospital. They have to accept you, whether you can pay or not. So that's kind of interesting. That I didn't know, and that was really surprising to me. So on that, I would say that a yes, no, that we have amazing health care. Yes and no.
Yes,
so it really depends on what you took from what we
It's
said,
like anything. It's run
yeah.
by the government, so it's going to be bureaucratic and long and annoying.
Very process oriented.
Yeah.
Ticker tape is wrong.
In the spirit of everything Elon Musk and SpaceX.
We actually watch all of their things.
Oh,
on
man,
YouTube.
yeah, I love it.
I think it's great.
We're
Going to
going to Mars,
Mars.
baby.
So Mars bars, as far as we've been told and have researched, Mars bars are Canadian because in the States you guys have Milky Way bars, but they are slightly different inside. So I'm going to post out. I'm just saying off camera. I'm like, I don't know how to cut this.
Seriously, this should be like the official candy bar of SpaceX. Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I don't know how, because this is gooey, like it's got like caramel inside. I don't know if you just want to take
Hashtag
it.
Elon Musk.
Oh, here you go. So I'm gonna, before I just, oh yeah, there you go. There's the trail. Don't you know there, eh?
Merci beaucoup.
Oh, I have to split mine. No, like, damn, I have to split mine. Oh, okay. Wait.
Yeah, it's not dissimilar from a Milky Way.
Yeah, I think it's just not as fluffy. I think. Oh, you got a hanger.
You got a hanger?
You got a hanger. But I think Milky Ways are fluffier, like their nugget or whatever that is fluffier. I don't know. Well, here we go. No, I don't have one of these in so long either. Oh, gotta get the droppings.
Can't lose any chocolate. That's blasphemy.
Jiggly Bits asked that we're like Americans, but just way nicer and better healthcare. Well, I can't say that about everybody. I just think that we are nice. Sorry.
I've been a few places in the world, and generally speaking, I think most people just want to be left alone and raise their kids and you know have a roof over their head and food. Other than that, I don't think there's really that much difference between most people around the planet.
Yeah. I will say though, and I'm sure that a lot of people, no matter where you're watching from right now, can probably say this for the most part, that when we could travel, whenever I traveled anywhere around the world, I always look forward to coming home. There was something about safety, like even depending on where you went. I mean, you've been with the Navy, but like safety-wise, as a traveler, it was always nice to get into the Canadian border knowing that I felt really safe. I think that's something that no one asked about that, but I feel like very safe walking at night. Do you like crispy?
Yes.
Do you like crunch?
Yes.
You might like crispy crunch. So this is a Cadbury chocolate bar, so I know it's not unique to Canada because it is an English thing. He married me. Well, I can say whatever. But this is awesome. So if you have peanut allergies, this is not for you. So it's a hard toffee kind of layered.
Not really toffee-ish. It tastes peanut butter flavor.
Oh, is it?
Ooh, there we go.
So let's show them on the screen
Yep.
here.
There we go. See,
Oh, I
you
gotta
see
split mine
the
over.
cross section of creamy goodness.
Cheers. Oh, I got a bigger piece. You can have the other one.
That's
Here.
fine.
Yeah, we have so much food here, you guys. Oh,
Good stuff.
yeah. Brittle, peanut brittle,
That's kind of it. Yeah.
more than toffee. Wow, it sticks to your teeth.
Oh, mental note. Everyone talking about the healthcare in Canada. Dental care is not covered.
You should know. Into my
Do
teeth.
you have to eat that? Yep. A lot of toffee.
Ooh, Jackie, it's so
It's like the puffy toffee, like the hard.
the honeycomb.
Ah,
You like the crunch bar?
I can't remember what it was called, but yeah.
Oh my god, it's still stuck on my teeth. We're still putting it in my mouth. Okay, seafood. I'm so classy.
You can tell by the shirt.
We'll get to that. It's so sticky. It's so good. But mine is super sticky. Next question is from Olfactive Stories. Kind, peaceful people. We don't close our doors. We're nice neighbors, and we wear only flannel shirts and have a cute pronunciation of out. Okay, let's start this. We're kind, peaceful people. For the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
But don't piss us
Until we
off.
get into a fight.
Yeah, like if...
Literally, Canada has never lost a war.
That's right. Can't say that about too many places. And we're very bashfully and modest about a lot of things. Most people don't boast, and we don't see... It's kind of sad. I like seeing Canadian flags. We don't see as much as I know in the U.S. You guys shine, you put your flag out on your property. We don't see as much about that, but that does not mean that we aren't proud about where we're from.
Yeah, at the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver, the Prime Minister had to actually make a actual statement in the House of Parliament, encouraging people to wave the flag and
because
be
we're
proud of
very
Canada.
Understated.
Yeah.
But like I said, we are very kind, helpful people. And I think one of the biggest takeaways would be, for the most part, like most people, we will give you an inch until you take a mile, and then no. We don't close our doors.
We definitely close our doors because
It
it
gets
snows.
cold.
It's cold. I think I'm just going to go interpreting here that you mean we don't lock our doors.
You do, for the most part.
For the most part, we do. I mean, when I was growing up, my parents didn't lock the doors,
Yeah.
and we lived in Winnipeg.
That's right. But let's talk a little bit about where we're from. So you were actually born in...
I grew up in Winterpeg, man, it's cold out.
But you were born in Ontario, correct?
Yeah, I was born in Toronto, yeah.
Yeah. And then you went to Winnipeg at how old?
I was 2.
2? And that's pretty much where you stayed until
Until I joined the Navy, yeah.
Which was 1,000 years ago. I was born and raised, I'm BC girl through and through, born in Penticton, British Columbia, and raised in Oliver, British Columbia until I was 19, and I went off to college at the Camosun College in Victoria on Vancouver Island. And I've been on Vancouver Island from the age 19 till we moved here when I was 41. It's a long time, and now we both moved for your work together out here to Halifax, Nova Scotia. So from one coast to another.
Yeah, it just gives us the opportunity to go and explore more.
Yeah, except we're a little limited in where we can explore exactly. We wear only flannel shirts. Well, I did this. I have quite a few flannel shirts. It's not the only thing I wear, but as
She wears flannel pajamas.
I do wear flannel pajamas.
She actually does. Yeah.
But it kind of depends on where you're from. Where I grew up, or where I lived a lot, was a place called Nanaimo, which is a city on Vancouver Island, and there's a suburb to Nanaimo, if you will, called Harewood, and we used to call this a Harewood dinner jacket. If you wore this was your dressing up kind of shirt, and you said something about
Spryfield.
Spryfield being here in Nova
Spryfield
Scotia.
is like right over
kind of
there. It's
behind
like
us here.
not this street. The next street over is Spryfield. So
it's not a jab per se to be mean. It's just we all have a community. We just sort of say, hey, this is our best clothes. We're gonna go.
I'd like to think of it as the up and coming neighborhood.
You know what? It probably is.
Actually.
And then we have a cute way about saying out.
Out.
I wonder if you mean out and about. In a boot?
Out and about.
In a boot?
Awesome.
You hoser. I'm not sure, but out, I guess, because I think she said she was French. How do they say out in French?
I think it's an Ontario, Quebec thing where they're, like my dad says Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. My dad says to wash a car, like anybody else normal would say wash. He says wash.
Yeah, like Washington.
Washington. Yeah, I don't get it. But I guess we have different dialects across the country too.
Yeah,
in a
it's
sense.
actually something I've been very curious about for a long time, because you get to basically the Quebec-Ontario border and you go west, there's practically no difference in the language. There's like little accents. Like in everywhere in the world, this is basically called a
jumper.
Well, not a jumper.
Sweater?
A hoodie.
We call it a hoodie.
It's a hoodie.
Yeah.
In Saskatchewan, it's called a bunny hug. No freaking idea why.
So
if anybody from Europe is watching this, I'm always blown away by the age of everything. I was in Edinburgh, and there was I was on the Royal Mile, and there's plaques there on all the closes, as it's called, so advocates' close and whatever that. And there's a plaque there that said, this guy lived here in this apartment building in 1500 and something. And I'm like,
The country isn't even that old.
people didn't even know British Columbia existed in 1500 and something.
Yeah, like our country is pretty young. It's a little wee babe. All right, so another Canadian treat that we don't think that too many people outside of Canada probably know about is all dressed chips. So everything you see there, you got salt and vinegar, you've got, what is it? Salt and vinegar, sour cream and onion. It's like all of them. It's like every kind of chip that you can throw together. It's a huge bag. Thanks, Costco. You know, I actually, hey, I'm taking these away from you. I had a bigger bag of this, and I love these. You guys, I love these chips. But I want to go to the register. I'm like, okay, smaller bag. Because we have so much food.
Yeah.
They're good.
These are pretty good. I grew up in a very British household in the 70s. So
Really old.
I didn't get a lot of flavor in a lot of things. I mean, so was it not so long? What are they
Bologna?
called? Bologna was my big thing. If we had flavor, it was like Black Forest ham. That was the big treat.
That's
That
true.
was the big treat.
Black
yeah.
Forest ham is a treat for us too. My family, food is so important. It's that Italian part of my family. Food and drink. Gotta have it. Nikki Minis asks, is Canada really planning to build a wall? Asking for a friend. Well, we have a border that's been closed now for almost like 11 months, so no wall.
Yeah, no, there's no walls, but there are roving packs of moose. Yeah, they sing Celine Dion songs and try to keep everybody south of the border.
No wall. No. In fact, we're almost the opposite. It's like, everybody just come here, come join us. That's pretty much what our country seems to be these days. All right, so Amanda Alberts, do you laugh at the alcohol content in American beer? It's gross, you guys. American beer is awful.
As soon as America starts trying to make beer, I will start making fun of it. Otherwise, it's just bottled water in cans that are made to look like beer.
It's really, so I guess the backstory is that our beer here in Canada, it could have the same Budweiser, for example. Budweiser in Canada, Budweiser in the United States, but our alcohol content is much higher, not much, but it's higher, and therefore just better.
No,
but it's not cheaper, let's put it that way. That might be it.
Yeah, the running joke is, what does American beer and having sex in a canoe have in common?
What do they have in common, Nelson?
They're both beep in closer to water.
No, I got Ramona into Swedish Berries. These are so good. And you think Swedish Berries, wow, they can't be Canadian. Apparently they are.
Apparently they are.
And they're really good. And back in our day, when we were little ones.
Well, that was penny candy stuff, man.
They
That
were
was
penny
awesome.
candies. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, taking my banana seed bike down to the penny candy
I
store.
haven't had these in a while.
There you go. Swedish Berries.
They're so good. Oh, it's fat free.
Probably not keto friendly.
No, I don't think so. Unnamed, there was just a bunch of leaves in the spot for your name, but is there a Florida man of Canada, like one region known for craziness that the rest of the country laughs about? I don't know.
I don't think so.
We're all just a little crazy inside. So I don't think we have one, but maybe if you know of one in your area, you're Canadian and you're watching right now, put it down below. Okay, so that completes all the questions that you guys gave to us, whether it be on Instagram or on my YouTube comments. But now I decided to pull some questions that I saw on the internet that I thought we would have some fun answering as well. And before we get started with that, another British candy is a caramel bar. The whole mystery, you see the little key is, how do they get the caramel in the caramel bar?
I'm getting full. We're not going to need dinner.
I know, that's why we had like a 10 o'clock breakfast. And
Yeah,
what time is it right now? It's 5:20, 6:21, yeah. Might have a really late dinner. Here, we'll just do like a little piece. Oh. Cheers.
Oh.
They're good.
Nom.
One of the questions that I thought I would share with you is, do we live for the game of hockey? Most Canadians do.
No.
Which is funny because Nelson did play hockey when he was younger, but you don't really watch a lot of sports in general. In my family, my dad and I would watch hockey together ever since I was a little tyke. And of course, I was in the era of Wayne Gretzky, but I couldn't say my W's. I was that young, and I called him Brain Gretzky. And I will never, ever let that down.
Yeah, I think the last time I seriously watched hockey, Edmonton won the cup.
It's a while.
It's been a while.
And then my cousin, I'll just say this. My cousin, Matt Irwin, he is now with Buffalo Sabres. And yeah, he's been to the Stanley Cup a few times with a couple, with the Nashville Predators. But yeah, so if you're in the Buffalo area or you watch hockey, he's Matt Irwin, number 44. They changed his number when he moved into Buffalo. So yeah, so obviously hockey is big in our family. So yeah, I'd say for the most part, we love our hockey.
Yeah, if you have any doubts, I take you back to 2010 when Vancouver lost. There was a riot. There was burning, looting, you name it.
Which is big because, again, Canadians are so polite and nice and follow rules. Most of the time.
Apparently don't F with the hockey.
Yeah, hockey is religion, is a rule. It's just, it is. Oh, and no, we don't know John from Toronto. Everyone, okay, especially when you're traveling somewhere or abroad. I will come back to, I've been to England Hickory Sticks. I've been to England a couple different times because I have some friends out there. And I think it was my second trip. It was New Year's Eve. I was out with all my friends. We were all in our like early 20s. We're at the pub, New Year's Eve. It was like the rockin' place to be in this little town. And all of a sudden, talking to a bunch of other people, they're like, "You're not from here," because of my accent. And anyway, 10 minutes later, this guy brings this other guy about our age to the table with all my friends and I, and say, "This is John. He's from Calgary. Do you guys know each other?" And I'll be like, John and I were like, "No, nice to meet you. This is a pretty spaciously, we are a large country. Population-wise, we're pretty small, but..."
Yeah, just if you're Europeans especially, if you're watching this, it took him and I 12 days to drive from Victoria to Nova Scotia.
So British Columbia to Nova Scotia.
Yes, and that's, now, mind you, we did take a trip down to California, but that was 8,000 kilometers on the trip. If you drove it straight from Nova Scotia to Victoria, from Halifax to Victoria, it is just better than 5,000 kilometers as the crow flies.
And friends of mine came over to visit me, and I was on Vancouver Island at the time. Before he flew out, he said, or I asked him, like, what would you like to see? Of all the things that you want to see when you're out in British Columbia, Victoria specifically, what would you like to see? He said, "I'd love to see Niagara Falls." I'm like, dude, plane ticket to Toronto and stay there. You're only here for 2 weeks, so you might want to get no perception of how large our country is. It's pretty big. She big.
Yeah, so like literally, guys, going on a 2-hour, 3-hour car ride somewhere else, that's
nothing.
That's a weekend thing, no big deal.
Some people, it's their trip to work.
Yeah, we'd go, oh God, yeah, I know guys that, like 2-hour commutes one way.
Yeah.
On the highway.
Oh, and something just on top of, our meals consist of maple.
No.
No?
Because I'm, munching on Hickory
Sticks, which isn't maple, but he's probably staring at the drink right there. Do you want to pour that? So speaking of maple.
No, everyone keeps coming back to maple. So yeah. I'd like to introduce everybody out in YouTube land to the best drink on the planet ever. I have taken this drink all over the planet. I have had Japanese admirals damn near lose their mind running around trying to give it to their other guys when they took a sip of this. This is maple syrup whiskey.
It's very unique.
Extraordinarily unique. And this is the best maple syrup whiskey. There are others. There are many like it, but this one is Canadian.
Made in Quebec.
Yeah.
They have currently 2 flavors? Just 2, right?
Yeah, they used to have maple
There's
syrup.
maple, that's the standard one.
Yep.
And the one you can only get in Quebec is
blueberry.
Which we do have.
And they used to have spice nut. And the only way I could explain spice nut was it was like tasting Christmas.
All the
It was-
spices.
oh my God.
And it's so sad because I never got to try it because you guys know how much I love chai. I would only imagine it's probably something similar to a chai. So it's made in Quebec, and we have it on special occasions.
And if anyone from Sortilège is listening to this, for the love of God, bring it back.
Bring
it's
back the
incredible.
Christmas morning
At least bring it back
flavor.
for Christmas time or winter.
We'll show that again.
Okay.
Yeah, this is so good, you guys. And I know I sent a bottle back with Ramona when she was up here visiting. So yeah, cheers. Hey.
If you could only smell this.
And we got our Montreal Maple Leaf,
make
Canada.
shot glasses.
Cheers.
But yeah, don't shoot this if you get it. It's just sipping.
Actually, wasn't you say the Japanese admiral almost went to shoot it? And you're
Yeah,
like,
he
no,
almost
no,
did.
slow down.
He's like, oh, thank you. And he goes like, I'm like, no! Oh, God!
Just sip it. It's so good. It's so tasty. And my parents, we've decided that when we are able to someday have our wedding reception, we will probably have this out to everybody. Got my mom, who's not a rye person at all. She loves this. My parents are now into this as well. So, I forgot to say maple syrup and back bacon. Oh, back bacon.
Oh, back
I missed
bacon.
that.
Yeah,
yes. Who doesn't love bacon except for vegetarians and vegans? But you try to make things taste like bacon, though.
People who think bacon is not good are something I like to call wrong.
So you know that it's a popular thing, and I would say that like one of our favorite pizza toppings is bacon and pineapple, like the Hawaiian pizza, which I don't even think is a very outside of Canada. I don't know how popular Hawaiian pizza is, but we do like it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, Jesus.
And
Hawaiian pizza is Canadian, by the way.
Is it?
Yes,
There you go.
it was invented by a guy in
Why
Ontario.
didn't we have? Thank God we didn't actually. I'm just looking at all this mess in front of us. Maple bacon is very, very good. So, and bacon can be put on anything and everything, or on
Bacon makes everything better.
We don't leave our house without a toque. Now, we don't have one here to show you, so that clearly answers that question.
Don't
I don't have one.
I thought I had one.
No,
There's got to be
we
one
don't
around
know
here
where
somewhere.
it is.
Yeah.
So a toque, for those of you who don't know, is like what a lot of people call like a beanie.
Yeah, people in the
your
States,
head.
Americans call it like a beanie or a wool cap. It is a toque.
And we normally have a toque with a little bauble on top.
Yeah.
It's just something.
It's a French word,
Yeah.
but it's ubiquitous throughout Canada.
We know what
it's
a toque is. Isn't Canada like a state?
Canada is not a state.
We have 3 territories in the north, and we have 10 provinces.
Yeah, we have the Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and Nunavut.
Yes, those are the 3 territories. And then we have 10 provinces from west to east or vice versa. And I'm not dissimilar, to the U.S. Like, we don't have governors, but we have premiers who work just below the prime minister. So those premiers are heads of the province or territory, basically.
And we have plastic currency.
Oh,
It's really
monopoly
quite cool.
money. A lot of people, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks that we have monopoly money. Well, it's not far off the truth.
Yeah.
First of all, it's colorful.
Yeah, it's way easier to count out your money when you're drunk. When you're trying to look for a purple bill, that's a 10, or a blue bill because it's a $5 bill. Yeah. And we have the loonie, which is the Canadian dollar.
And then we have the
we have the toonie.
the $2.
We brought up the $2 coin.
And we also took some advice from Australia, and our money is now like plasticized, so you can wash it in the washing machine, and it won't wash away. It won't rip or tear.
The
you can literally try to rip it, and it won't work.
Yeah, the Australians. First time I saw one was an Australian bill, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
That we all speak French.
No.
Parlez-vous français?
No. The vast majority of people in Canada do not speak French.
But everything that we have when it comes to food, purchases of anything, they all have French and English.
Yeah, because the official language acts came in back in the late 60s, early 70s.
Nelson has gone to French school for his work most recently.
Oui, j'ai étudié la langue française pour 1 an.
And I only went to grade 10 as far as I had to in high school, and then I took Spanish. So.
Before going on to the year-long French course, the only French I really had was learning all the French swear words when I was on basic training, because all of the Canadian Forces basic training is done in Saint-Jean-Sur-Richelieu, which is just south of Montreal.
Swear words, key points. Mounties ride horses. Wow, you guys watch a lot of TV. No. So the Mounties for in layman's terms, are Royal Canadian Mounted Police. So that's our nationwide police service.
Le GRC.
The GRC. And I used to work for the RCMP, and I was an auxiliary constable for the RCMP. I was an officer. And I'll tell you right now, unless it's PR or like public relations, I should say, you really don't see too many on horses. And we had the musical ride, which is very well known around the world.
Yeah, it used to be on the back of our $50 bill.
Yeah, and it's very, very amazing. If you're ever able to catch a musical ride that tours Canada, it is really cool. But no, they don't really traditionally ride horses. Motorcycles, bicycles, cars, trucks, ATVs. I've even seen them skiing because we have officers on ski hills. So
snowshoeing.
Maybe we couldn't run very fast. And last but not least is a question that I think that we could probably talk about for eons. And you've seen on this channel too, especially our vlogs, our Timmy's runs. And again, for those of you who don't know what a Timmy's run is, it's Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons is a coffee shop.
Yeah.
It's like the low-end, not pretentious version of Starbucks.
Yes.
I think it's been around longer than Starbucks has. But it is basically, if you're ever in Canada and you find a Tim Hortons, you go up and you order a double-double. This is not me leading you down some Primrose path where they're going to give you something weird. No, it's a coffee with 2 milk, 2 sugar. A medium double is a very legitimate order.
Yeah, everyone knows what that is, and don't mess with a person's coffee from Tim Hortons.
They're everywhere in Halifax.
And in fact, we were talking again before we did this video, in downtown Vancouver, British Columbia, there is a corner, like picture a square, and on 3 of those corners are Starbucks, and 1 is Tim Hortons. It's like the only place I can say that Starbucks would sell more than Tim Hortons. Just because of business-oriented and little pretentiousness downtown Vancouver sometimes.
What? People from Vancouver are pretentious?
Not all people, but when you go out to the rest of the country, when you're talking rural places, you're going to see a lot more Tim Hortons. And even here in Nova Scotia, there are not that many, even in Halifax, where we are currently, there's not that many Starbucks.
No. But then again, most people aren't really willing to pay $7 for a coffee. Get out of the major population centers, you're with Tim Hortons.
Coffee, man. And don't mess with my double.
They make great tea as well, too.
Oh, yeah.
Tea is much bigger here, I think, than in the States. Or
maybe. Well, it's British. Those are all the questions that you guys asked and that I just sort of picked apart. And we have one last thing we didn't talk about.
Oh, ketchup chips.
The best for last.
It shocked me that, ketchup chips are a Canadian thing. They're not.
Ketchup. These are so good, by the way. If you watched to the end, down on the comments. Okay, we totally forgot about this. I'm trying to keep track of what we've eaten. Oh my god, these are so good.
Yep, these are good.
Really good. Well, thanks for dinner.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'll do the dishes.
Well, I guess we got to sign off.
As you do. The
All right.
hoser.
All right.
Cheers.
Take off, eh?
Hey.